Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be reading Chapter 9 in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. We're going to be talking about the subconscious mind and money and wealth and abundance and all that implies within the next 2 to 3 chapters, which are relatively short. So let's go ahead and get started. How to use the power of your subconscious for wealth. If you are having financial difficulties, if you are trying to make ends meet, it means you have not convinced your subconscious mind that you will always have plenty and some to spare. You know people who work a few hours a week and make fabulous sums of money. They do not strive or slave hard. Do not believe the story that the only way you can become wealthy is by the sweat of your brow and hard labor. It is not so. The effortless way of life is the best. Do the thing you love to do and do it for the joy and thrill of it. I know an executive in Los Angeles who receives a salary of $75,000 yearly. Keep in mind, this book was written in 1963, okay? Last year, he went on a 9-month cruise seeing the world and its beautiful places. He said to me that he had succeeded in convincing his subconscious mind that he was worth that much money. He told me that there were many men and women in his organization getting about $100 a week, and they knew more about the business than he did. They could manage it better, but they had no ambition, no creative ideas, and they were not interested in the wonders of their subconscious mind. Wealth is of the mind. Wealth is simply a subconscious conviction on the part of the individual. You will not become a millionaire by saying, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. You will grow into a wealth consciousness by building into your mentality the idea of wealth and abundance. Your invisible means for support. The trouble with most people is that they have no invisible means of support. When business falls away, the stock market drops, or they lose their investments, they seem helpless. The reason for such insecurity is that they do not know how to tap the subconscious mind. They are unacquainted with the inexhaustible storehouse within. A person with a poverty-type mind finds themselves in poverty-stricken conditions. Another person with a mind filled with ideas of wealth is surrounded with everything they need. It was never intended that we should lead a life of indigence. You can have wealth, everything you need, and plenty to spare. Your words have power to cleanse your mind of wrong ideas and to instill right ideas in their place. The ideal method for building a wealth consciousness. Perhaps you are saying as you read this chapter, I need wealth and success. This is what you do. Repeat for about 5 minutes to yourself 3 or 4 times a day. Wealth, success. These words have tremendous power. They represent the inner power of the subconscious mind. Anchor your mind in this substantial power within you. Then conditions and circumstances corresponding to their nature and quality will be manifested in your life. You are not saying, I am wealthy. You are dwelling on real powers within you. There is no conflict in the mind when you say wealth. Furthermore, the feelings of wealth will well up within you as you dwell on the idea of wealth. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. Your subconscious mind is like a bank, a sort of universal financial institution. It magnifies whatever you deposit or impress upon it, whether it is the idea of wealth or of poverty. Choose wealth. Why your affirmations for wealth fail. I have talked to many people during the past 35 years whose usual complaint is, I have said for weeks and months, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, and nothing has happened. I discovered that when they said, I am prosperous, I am wealthy, they felt within that they were lying to themselves. One man told me, I have affirmed that I am prosperous until I am tired. Things are now worse. So I think he's saying, I am prosperous, and I don't know if he's saying I am prosperous until I am tired, or he was just repeating it until he couldn't anymore. I don't know. Things are now worse, he said. I knew when I made the statement that it was obviously not true. His statements were rejected by the conscious mind, and the very opposite of what he outwardly affirmed and claimed was made manifest. Sounds like he said it until he just couldn't say it anymore. All right. Your affirmation succeeds best when it is specific and when it does not produce a mental conflict or argument. Hence, the statements made by this man made matters worse because they suggested his lack. Your subconscious accepts what you really feel to be true, not just idle words or statements. That's very important. The dominant idea or belief is always accepted by the subconscious mind. How to avoid mental conflict. So how to avoid this. The following is the ideal way to overcome this conflict for those who have this difficulty. Make this practical statement frequently, particularly prior to sleep. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. This affirmation will not arouse any argument because it does not contradict your subconscious mind's impression of financial lack. I suggested to one businessman whose sales and finances were very low and who was greatly worried that he sit down in his office, become quiet, and repeat this statement over and over again. My sales are improving every day. This statement engaged the cooperation of the conscious and subconscious mind, and results followed. Don't sign blank checks. You sign blank checks when you make such statements as, there is not enough to go around, there is a shortage, I will lose the house because of the mortgage, etc. If you are full of fear about the future, you are also writing a blank check and attracting negative conditions to you. Your subconscious mind takes your fear and negative statement as your request and proceeds in its own way to bring obstacles, delays, lack, and limitation in your life. I'm so sorry. My son is playing and he's not far from the door. I apologize if it gets a little bit loud. Your subconscious gives you compound interest. To him that hath the feeling of wealth, more wealth shall be added. To him that hath the feeling of lack, more lack shall be added. Your subconscious multiplies and magnifies whatever you deposit in it. Every morning as you awaken, deposit thoughts of prosperity, success, wealth, and peace. Dwell upon these concepts. Busy your mind with them as often as possible. These constructive thoughts will find their way as deposits in your subconscious mind and bring forth abundance and prosperity. Why nothing happened? I can hear you saying, oh, I did that and nothing happened. You did not get results because you indulged in fear thoughts, perhaps a few minutes later, and neutralized the good you had affirmed. How many people have done that? Like all the time. When you place a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up, you let it root and grow. Suppose, for example, you are going to say, I shall not be able to make that payment. Before you get further than the words I shall, stop the sentence and dwell on a constructive statement such as, by day and by night, I am prospered in all my ways. True source of wealth. Your subconscious mind is never short of ideas. There are within it an infinite number of ideas ready to flow in your conscious mind and appear as cash in your wallet in countless ways. This process will continue to go on in your mind regardless of whether the stock market goes up or down, or whether the pound sterling or dollar drops in value. Your wealth is never truly dependent on bonds, stocks, or money in the bank. These really are only symbols, necessary and useful, of course, but only symbols. The point I wish to emphasize is that if you convince your subconscious mind that wealth is yours and that it is always circulating in your life, you will always and inevitably have it, regardless of the form it takes. Trying to make ends meet and the real cause. There are people who claim that they are always trying to make ends meet. They seem to have a great struggle to meet their obligations. Have you listened to their conversation? In many instances, their conversation runs along this vein. They are constantly condemning those who have succeeded in life and who have raised their heads above the crowd. Perhaps they are saying, oh, that person has a racket, they're ruthless, they're a crook. This is why they lack. They are condemning the thing they desire and want. The reason they speak critically of their more prosperous associates is because they are envious and covetous of the other's prosperity. The quickest way to cause wealth to take wings and fly away is to criticize and condemn others who have more wealth than you. A common stumbling block to wealth. There is one emotion which is the cause of lack of wealth in the lives of many. Most people learn this the hard way, and it is envy. For example, if you see a competitor depositing large sums of money in the bank and you have only a meager amount to deposit, does it make you envious? The way to overcome this emotion is to say to yourself, "Isn't it wonderful? I rejoice in that person's prosperity and I wish for them greater and greater wealth." To entertain envious thoughts is devastating because it places you in a very negative position. Therefore, wealth flows from you instead of to you. If you are ever annoyed or irritated by the prosperity or great wealth of another, claim immediately that you truly wish for them greater wealth in every possible way. This will neutralize the negative thoughts in your mind and cause an even greater measure of wealth to flow to you by the law of your own subconscious mind. Rubbing out a great mental block to wealth. If you are worried and critical about someone whom you claim is making money dishonestly, stop worrying about them. You know such a person is using the law of mind negatively. The law of mind takes care of that person. Be careful not to criticize the person for the reasons previously indicated. Remember, the block or obstacle to wealth is in your own mind. You can now destroy that mental block. This you may do by getting on mental good terms with everyone. Sleep and grow rich. As you go to sleep at night, practice the following technique. Repeat the word wealth quietly, easily, and feelingly. Do this over and over again, just like it's a lullaby. Lull yourself to sleep with the one word wealth. You should be amazed at the result. Wealth should flow to you in avalanches of abundance. This is another example of the magic power of your subconscious mind. All right, now here's the summary. Serve yourself with the powers of your mind. Number 1, decide to be wealthy the easy way with the infallible aid of your subconscious mind. Number 2, trying to accumulate wealth by the sweat of your brow and hard labor is one way to become the richest man in the graveyard. You do not have to strive or slave hard. Number 3, wealth is a subconscious conviction. Build it into your mentality, the idea of wealth. Number 4, the trouble with most people is that they have no invisible means of support. So relying on your subconscious mind is, I think that's what the author was sort of talking about. People lose, what they have in front of them and they don't know what to fall back on. They become helpless because they don't know that they have this wonderful subconscious mind that is so powerful. Just as a reminder, because that's such a quick, short statement. Okay. Number 5, repeat the word wealth to yourself slowly and quietly for about 5 minutes before sleep, and your subconscious will bring wealth to pass in your experience. Number 6, the feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. Number 7, your conscious and subconscious mind must agree. Your subconscious accepts what you really feel to be true. The dominant idea is always accepted by your subconscious mind. The dominant idea should be wealth, not poverty. Number 8, you can overcome any mental conflict regarding wealth by affirming frequently, by day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. Number 9, increase your sales by repeating this statement over and over again. My sales are improving every day. I am advancing, progressing, and getting wealthier every day. Number 10, stop writing blank checks such as, there is not enough to go around, or there is a shortage, etc. Such statements magnify and multiply loss or your loss. Number 11, deposit thoughts of prosperity, wealth, and success in your subconscious mind, and the latter will give you compound interest. Number 12, what you consciously affirm, you must not mentally deny a few minutes later. This will neutralize the good you have affirmed. Number 13, your true source of wealth consists of the ideas in your mind. You can have an idea worth millions of dollars. Your subconscious will give you the idea you seek. Number 14, envy and jealousy are stumbling blocks to the flow of wealth. Rejoice in the prosperity of others, no matter how you think they're making it, no matter how you think they're getting it. It's not up to you to see, that something that's wrong is made right. That's not what you're looking for in this situation. Number 14, envy and jealousy are stumbling blocks to the flow of wealth. Rejoice in the prosperity of others. I think I just read that. I really did. Number 15, the block to wealth is in your own mind. Destroy that block now by getting on good mental terms with everyone. Okay, so that completes chapter 9. That's what we just finished, was chapter 9. The next video, chapter 10, is another video that has to do with money, but also I guess money overall, not so much just riches, but how you view money overall. And so that is another chapter that is a little bit shorter. I think the next few are going to have more to do with what you do for a living, how you look at money, if you're looking to make more money, which I think that especially these days, a lot of people are really in that boat as far as the cost of living and how much things cost and all that implies. So hopefully you can find these things helpful. I think I'm going to make another video. I was going to put both of the chapters together, but it's a little bit long. So I will do this one, and then I very shortly from now will take care of the second chapter so that so that it's there and you can peruse them at your leisure. So until next time, I hope that you take very, very good care of yourself and all of those around you. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you feel so inclined. And until next time, I will see you again very soon. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.